So getting your driver's license should be one of the best days of your life, right? Well, for me, it was one of my worst, and that day I learned in life, don't always get the good end of the deal. So the day starts. I have a DMV appointment at 11:30, and I look outside, and the rain is just pouring rain. And I thought, wow, not a great start to take your driving test. So we go down there, and the DMV line, just classic DMV line, going all the way around the door, just awful. So we wait in line, get all the way to the front, and they say, I'm here to take my driving test. And they say, okay, great, now get in your car and wait in another line. And so I'm like, okay, that's kind of lame. So I get in the line, and it's still raining, and it's freezing cold at this point. And it's so cold, in fact, that all the cars in front are actually, the car batteries are actually dying. So as the cars that are dying, they have to get towed away. And so when they get towed, it takes like 45 minutes each car. And so what ended up being like a 45-minute trip ended up taking upwards of about 4 hours. And so I'm just dying, it's dragging and dragging on. And it's just the worst DMV experience I think anyone could ever have. So we get about halfway in the line, and I think to myself, hey, we've been here for like 2-3 hours. I can turn off the car, right? Battery won't die, we've been running long enough. Let's try to save some gas. So I shut off my car, and we wait about half an hour, and the line moves forward. And so I turn my car back on, and my car battery died. And my heart just sank into my stomach. I'm like, this is the worst. I've been here for almost 4 hours. It's just the worst. And so I panic frantically. My mom's next to me. I'm panicking. She's like, what do we do? So I grab my phone and I call my grandpa. I say, Grandpa, could you bring Grandma's car down here or something? Because our car battery died. So he comes in and saves the day, switches cars, and right when they're about to yell at me. So now I'm in another car that I've never driven before. It's raining still, and it's dark outside now. Really the 3 worst conditions you can take your driving test in. So we wait another 2 hours, 3 hours. So it's just miserable. Everyone's frustrated. And I've heard stories of this really mean driving instructor who fails everyone, who just people cry leaving his office and because he was so mean. And I was like, wow, I really hope I don't get that guy. What else can go wrong today, right? So we get to the front of the line, and it's my turn to take my test. I see the nicest driving instructor start walking towards my car, and finally, a break. And I see him look at my car. He takes a step to open the door, and then looks at someone, and then goes into his office. And I'm like, oh, okay, you might be just getting slip board or something. But sure enough, who do I see? The meanest driving instructor in the place walks towards my car. He does something, gets in my car, and says, okay, let's take a test. And so now I'm freaking out. My hands are shaking so much, I'm surprised I'm driving straight. So we get on the road, and it's just silence. Just dead quiet. I thought he'd be nice and conversational. Nope. And all he's saying is, turn left here, turn right here, go straight, do whatever. So I'm freaking out. And then he tells me at one point to pull over. And I don't know why he wants to pull over. So I turn the hazard lights on. And he snaps back angrily. He goes, why did you turn the hazard lights on? Because you told me to pull over. Is this an emergency? No. Then turn them off? And I turn them off, and I sit in there, and I'm like, this is the moment. This is when I failed my driving test. And I'm just freaking out. The worst day ever. And so I finish the test. We pull into the parking lot, and he's just scribbling with his stupid little keyboard or clipboard. And I'm just like, he's just gonna fail me. I wait, just telling me I failed. And he looks at me, and it's just quiet after a while. He looks at me, looks back at the clipboard. And my heart's pounding on my chest. I'm just waiting for him to tell me what to do. And he says, are you gonna turn on your hazard lights when you pull over next time? I say, no, sir. And he says, congratulations, you have your license, and gets out of my car. At that moment, I'm freaking out. I'm so happy. And what turned out to be like a really bad day kind of ended on a good note, because that's the story of how I got my license. Thank you.